All right, you ready to do it?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. We are here today with Mitch Credits from Print Partner. Hey, Mitch, how's your day going, buddy?
Scott, it's going pretty fantastic. Thank you. I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole, but yeah, things are going great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I don't know about the whack-a-mole thing, but we do have the fair coming up not too long from now, the state
Oh,
fair, and they have
oh,
whack-a-mole.
well, that sounds like a fun. You could either come to work, at Print Partner and play it, or you could go to the state fair and play it.
There you go. Okay. All right. Well, what's going on that makes you feel like whack-a-mole?
Oh gosh, well, that's a great question. There's all of the fun stuff that's going on in life, but also just the fun things that are happening with the channel. There's new opportunities, there's outreach, it's like and I think that any MSP business owner could recognize the same thing. It's like you get clients, you service them, you get them into the fold, and then it's like you do more outreach, and then you do this, that, and the other, and so there's always a little bit of something that is popping its head up that you have to tend to. So it's
I get
all good
that.
stuff, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be doing it all.
There you go. Well, you getting
Yeah.
ready for the new season coming up? I think we're jumping into fall, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Not
And
not too long.
that would mark the fourth year of Print Partner also being in business as well. So
Awesome.
we're
Very
stoked for
cool.
it. We're stoked for it. Yeah, and seasonally everything kind of, I don't know. I don't know. You tell me, do you see like ebbs and flows through the seasons or through the years? Like, do you see that with your client base?
I don't know. They all seem about the same to me. I just enjoy certain seasons over the others.
Yeah,
I like summertime because I like the pools open up, you can go
yeah.
swimming, but I hate the oppressive heat. Um
Uh-huh.
I love fall when the weather starts changing and it's kind of like, finally a break from all the excessive heat.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe fall is my favorite time of the year. I don't know.
I think I'm with you.
Yep.
But
I
I
like
also
the
like going
leaves.
camping in the middle of the winter too. I'd like to, dig out and set up a
Okay.
tent on the ground, get out there with my son and, enjoy a nice hot fire in the snow.
There you go. Well,
Yep.
I don't know, in Chicago, I'm sure you see a lot more snow than we do
Oh
here
yeah.
in South Carolina.
Oh yeah, we do.
So, what's the weather like in Chicago now?
It's beautiful. It's been gorgeous for weeks.
Okay.
I've been out camping every weekend for the past 3 weeks, so it's been pretty good.
Well, it is sunshiny here in South Carolina and a crisp 77 degrees. So, I'll take it
Yeah,
all day
yeah,
long. We can
yep.
open
And
up the windows.
I told you I thought I'd retire down there someday. I
Oh, to
thought
South Carolina?
yep, I always thought
All
I'd end
right.
up in South Carolina.
Well, we got room for you. Come on down.
Okay, I'll take you up on it.
Sounds good. So, what's happening new with Print Partner these days?
Well, we've been having a lot of fun. 4 years, you learn a lot. You build a lot of trust over time.
Sure.
You step in some pitfalls and you learn what not to do. You learn, how to kind of community of folks. A little.
I think we lost you for a second. All right, you're back.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. It actually just told me my internet connection's unstable. I apologize for that.
That's all right.
Well, we'll muddle through. Um, yeah, so it's been great. It's been a season of growth for us. We've
Okay.
signed up some pretty large MSP, over $100 million in revenue, that looked at us and said, their whole leadership team said, "Yep, we want to work with a company. We want to partner with a print vendor. That's anytime our customers ask us, hey, do you have a recommendation for print?" These MSPs said, we want to be sticky in all areas with our customers. So we want to introduce a preferred print vendor. And we are now those MSP's print vendor. So it's
Well,
pretty
congrats.
cool. So it's a little bit, it's a beautiful opportunity for us. It's really wonderful for the growth of Green Office Partner, my parent company. And so we're enjoying nurturing those new opportunities at the same time as nurturing the existing client partner relationships that we have.
And remind me of the brands that Print Partner works with.
Yes. So Green Office Partner is the parent company, and they're the ones that would
Okay.
be dealing directly with any customers that MSPs would introduce us to. And we lead with the top two brands, Xerox and HP. I know a
Okay.
lot of MSPs are like HP, but if you're dealing with the enterprise stuff, it's actually it's good stuff.
I
Easy
got
to
you.
manage, and they're not as bad as their retail equipment.
So not the Office Jet or the Envy products.
No, no.
Awesome, awesome.
And you don't have to subscribe to their ink program in order to set up a printer. Yeah. Yeah.
I had a residential customer I was helping not too long ago, and we tried everything to get the printer connected. It was like on an HP Envy, just a little cheap basic printer. And
Yeah.
goodness gracious, we nothing would work until we signed up and put their email
Oh,
address in, and then
oh,
everything started working. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's just
that's
nonsense.
that's inappropriate. Yeah. And I think every IT person they would lose an hour of their own time trying to figure out a way to subvert that or override it so that that wouldn't happen. But yeah, apparently that's not the case. I'd
Well,
say, I think most of the IT community, MSP community for the, smaller businesses, I think a lot of folks just go brother because those are rock solid and they're inexpensive lasers and all that good stuff.
for the consumer grade
For
printer,
the consumer
cheaper
grade.
grade.
Yep.
Yep, I got
Yep.
you. All right. Well, I've had some pretty good luck with Xerox. You mentioned Xerox as well.
Yep.
We have one that we have been working with a client. They purchased, and it's a pretty rock solid device. It's pretty intuitive too, from a support perspective.
Mhm.
It's very very simple device, but it just works.
Yeah. And I think
So
that, I mean, it's one of the oldest names in the business.
absolutely. Are there any
Um,
other brands that you guys work with that are maybe not top tier?
well, sure. For wide format, we work with Epson.
Oh, okay.
And then we do things like Zebra label printers. We have a couple customers that have hundreds of Zebra label printers, and we can put all those under management as well. Support, and management and anything else that they need.
Really? So those the label printers like in restaurants and stuff or
Not those, but more like in manufacturing and warehousing, logistics facilities, stuff like
oh
that,
yeah,
where
yeah,
they're just
yeah.
busting
That's right.
out
You did say
labels.
labels.
Yep, labels
Okay.
galore.
Asset labels and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yep.
okay. Very cool. Very
Tickets,
cool.
labels, you name it. Yeah.
All right.
And then we're also doing a lot of stuff with like, non-hardware. There's like paper cut is a good, a lot of our opportunities include paper cut where, because every MSP in the world is now so security focused, which is appropriate.
Sure.
And print is no exception. So when larger environments that have people badging in, to the doors and, there's central printers or copiers for a large group of people, we're getting them set up so that when print jobs come, they can badge in to have them print out or just make
Oh,
sure that they,
nice.
print out only to follow me print and things like that so that documents aren't being left on printers. And we're doing document workflow management. We're doing AI or RPA, robotic process automation, which is a dumb acronym, but where we're actually creating workflows around documents for like an HR team or for accounts payable team. If they have a routine process that just happens all the time, we can just create AI around it to have the document go get the approval it needs, go get renamed and scanned and put in the right location and all that good stuff.
Very nice. So
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, how is AI impacting the print world, but it
Oh
sounds
yeah.
like process automation is huge.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I think any MSP probably, or at least the people who are, the boots on the ground are seeing that your customers are still printing a lot, still
Okay.
dealing with piles of paper and it's always the case that accounts receivable, accounts payable, legal. They're dealing with gobs of paper that they're writing on and marking up and manually moving around. So that is where we see a gold mine in AI, and being able to kind of automate that and then allow the people that are processing those piles of paper and manually working on them step back from that and invest their time in more valuable tasks.
Well, admittedly, I have not gotten into AI as much as I probably should as an IT business owner. I think what we have done with AI is really no more than Chat GPT.
Yeah,
So, like, I love taking an email and you put thoughts down, but gone are the days where you'd have to sit with an email and it may take you a couple hours to compose it, go over it, change that sentence, do this. You can just copy it, just type it rough draft, and then just
yeah,
put your thoughts on paper and
yeah.
really say, write me a professional email, and it spits it out. I'm
It's
like, wow.
really cool. And I'm somebody that really nerds out on the language and the
Okay.
words that I'm using. And I actually will take what I think is a well-crafted email, put it into Chat GPT, and then take its couple of, simple suggestions or whatnot of rephrasing or something. And sometimes I just, don't, but I look forward to the future of what AI will have for us as well.
Well, it certainly makes us sound more intelligent
Yeah, right.
in the
I
in
can
the
always use
business
that.
world. Me as well, absolutely. So, well, that's awesome. Well, what can you tell us about some partners and how Print Partner has helped them by teaming up with
Yeah.
to take care of their IT and print vendor needs for their clients?
Oh, that's a great, thank you for that question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gosh, I've seen it over and over. This is something that I created. I was a former MSP for 20 years. I built and sold two MSP. And so when I created this pro channel in the company that I'm employed by, Green Office Partner, I don't know if I'm pointing it where I'm pointing to, but one of those logos near me, they were my preferred print vendor since like 2011, 2010, 2011.
Okay.
And the same deal that exists today for the MSPs that partner with us existed for me. They paid me, actually, it's changed a little bit. I'll tell you about that in a second. But they paid me $1,000 for every copier that was sold in a deal, and $100 for every printer that was sold in a deal. And that was fantastic for me as a print vendor, or I'm sorry, as an MSP, to have that kind of a relationship with a print company, and they took good care of my customers. That's all I cared about. Like, just give me a print company that is I can trust to take care of my customers, and when I call them, they're not going to drop the ball on getting out to my client, who's going to look at me and harsh me either way if printer doesn't get fixed, even if it's not my fault. MSPs always take the blame when the printer isn't working, even if it fully lies in the court of the hardware provider or the managed print
Sure.
services company. It's just how it goes.
So
But
you guys make the MSP look good.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think there's something to be said for the collaboration of the partnership. The question of how, the partners that we've worked with and that we've had success with, it's
Sure.
been pretty cool where, the idea is like, it's simple. We're not a full-time partner for any MSP, as far as like, we don't have to be top of mind all the time. It's only when your customers are asking about print, instead of letting a random print vendor go in there that
Sure.
might also be an MSP. Why don't you refer them to somebody like Print Partner that will pay you for it, that will collaborate with you, and that will protect you? Because since we're not an MSP, we eliminate any threat of the print vendor swinging their MSP service book over, to the decision maker's ear when it's time for their quarterly business review.
And
So
how
in,
common is that now? Where
you know,
how often are you seeing that? I heard that like 2 years ago that, beware, the print vendors will come in your local print shop and they'll try to sell your customer not only a printer, but on a full IT service suite as well.
yeah, here's where it happens. It happens, the bigger your customer, those are the ones that are being approached.
Mhm.
So print organizations like mine, like Green Office Partner, are sales organizations first and foremost.
Mhm.
MSPs in general are service organizations, and they're not as heavily focused on sales. So even a well-oiled MSP during their QBR, yeah, a lot of times what I see is they do some selling, like they might try and upsell, but it's a lot of times the QBR is a status update for MSPs. Every print vendor, a QBR or an annual review or whatever it is, it might be for some status, but trust me, it is a sales opportunity, and they're trying
Sure.
to, do whatever. So it's the bigger the customer, the deeper the relationship is with the print vendor. The more, devices that they have and the more users they have, then it's just natural. We hear about it with the bigger customers. And a lot of MSPs, they kind of chuckle at it and they're like, yeah, we're not worried about it. And I get it. I wasn't worried about a print vendor taking my customers from me either back in the day, but I hear about it happening pretty regularly from MSP. And I hear about it most of the time when an MSP will register a deal. We call to talk to them about it for a bit before, getting an introduction to the customer. And they're like, yeah, this print vendor I found out is trying to sell their MSP services to my customer. I want them out. And then the MSP does everything that they can to put us in place and boot that print vendor out. So
Right.
in some cases, MSPs give us opportunity, and they come in, they make the intro, and then they bounce out, which is totally fine for us. They don't have to do anything else. But when an MSP is feeling threatened, I can tell because they're on every call. They're doing everything they can to kind of, shape the conversation to say, hey, and then that works. It works
And
a
your
lot.
team, will work with the client to get them, if there's support issues. How does that work?
Yeah, so I have an example. So anytime that an MSP introduces a customer to us and we win the deal, we take over support. It's our team that takes over support. We answer the phone. We do all the stuff. If it's one of our standard programs for really small deals, we work through Xerox Direct, and we'll
Okay.
guide them towards the right product. Support's handled by Xerox there, but that's on the small 1 or 2 device opportunities. For our regular customers, for our ideal customer profile, we handle everything. We fly around the
Okay.
country, we install the devices, we do the training. It's our employees that does all that stuff. It's our employees that answer the phone, and then when things break, they call us, and we have it's like from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening is the, support hours. And we'll take care of anything they need. We'll triage everything that needs with Xerox. We'll send support people out. Xerox doesn't have brick and mortar buildings anymore around the country.
Okay.
They just have techs that are, and the people that come on site to support the products are badged Xerox, badged HP employees. So you're not getting some random MSP that knows how to swing a screwdriver to come and fix that print device that they're also trying to catch a revenue stream fixing printers. We're actually sending out badged employees of HP or Xerox,
Very
and they
nice.
can be dispatched from anywhere in the country. So,
So
but
what?
yeah, an interesting story is like we had, of course, printers suck. They'll never not suck, and they always cause a critical issue with your customers. If the CEO's admin has a problem with the printer and then 2 days go by and it's not fixed, all of a sudden everybody's got a fire under their butt and everybody's scrambling like,
Heads are
and
rolling.
it's not even an important job, but it catches attention. We had an issue with an MSP. It was it was a large company based in New York. They had some in Mexico and whatnot locations. And when we had print throughout the organization, and there was an issue where the MSP called me up, and there was an issue with scan jobs not going to a destination. And by the time I got to it, it had gotten pretty hot. And the MSP is like, look, man, I'm not looking really good here. What can you do? We flew an engineer to New York City the following morning, had
Wow.
them in the building by 10 o'clock, and worked with the customer and with Xerox. And you know what? At the end of the day, it came out like a month and a half later. It was actually the network operations had setting in the configuration between the firewalls between Mexico and New York City that did not permit the traffic, but they could only see it. The US side couldn't see it. So but we did our best. And that MSP has consistently said, I know you guys will come to bat and do whatever it takes to get it,
That's awesome.
to make sure I'm looking good. I mean,
So
we'll do what
something
we
that
can.
was out of your control.
Yeah.
Totally.
And we've had it before where we've shown up and, they were yelling and you get on site and you find out that it's been plugged into the phone line. Somebody, the cleaning crew unplugged it, plugged in the phone line or whatever, you know how it is, that kind of stuff. Yeah. One other thing, do you mind if I talk about something
Yeah.
that a little different that's just changed recently?
Yeah. Talk about whatever you want.
Thank you. I'd like to talk about the recent commission change that we had, where we sweetened the deal for the folks that are registering the opportunities. So print partner commission goes like this. There's the house, they get their piece. That's the $1,000 per copier and $100 per printer and 5% recurring revenue. That all goes to the house. The owner, the MSP gets that check. And then we previously had it set up where the people that were registering the deals were getting $250 for the intro or $500 for the intro with a copy of the print agreement. We learned that the print agreement, nobody was giving it to us. And we also discovered, like, I think in 3 years, we had like 6 print agreements that came to us, or 2 years, we had 6 print agreements. And we also realized that we weren't really taking advantage of it. So we killed the print agreement part because it really didn't impact our process. But it really kind of felt bad if, say, somebody that works for an MSP introduced us to their customer and they got $250, but we sold a $250,000 deal. That felt a little skewed. So we said, why don't we reward the people that have access to their customers? Because it's not always the owner of the MSP that has access to the customer. It's the accountant managers or the engagement managers, the technical account managers, the field engineers, even the help desk people. Those are the ones that hear about it. So we said, let's reward them more than what we currently do. So we switched our commission to, you will get a $500 minimum for any closed deal.
Okay.
And we'll give you an additional $250 for every $25,000 worth of that's in the deal.
Oh, so it's a scale, a sliding scale.
Yep. So the minimum you'll get is $500 for any deal we close. And if it's a $100,000 deal, you'll get another $1,000. So you'll get $1,500 for making that introduction. And then if it's a $100,000 deal, at the same time, that same individual that registered it, if they have a target on their back for a revenue amount to bring in revenue for the MSP, the $10,000 that the MSP would get should also be reflected on that target number.
Okay. Very nice. Well, normally the MSP wouldn't get anything because they weren't selling it. I mean, well, they would be making an introduction to a copier company, but traditionally copier companies, have never paid out commission fees on sales like that. So
no,
I love it.
I have yet to hear of, copier companies that do. There's one other vendor in this space that also, that has an MSP program, and their Total Print, they have a good program too. It's a little different. They do pay out commissions, but I think that the MSP has to be a little more involved in the sales process and in kind of managing and keeping the relationship. In our program, literally, you could register the deal, which takes you 2 minutes to type in stuff in a form. Our team will reach out to you. You spend 5 minutes on the phone with them and then make an email introduction to the customer and the sales rep that's been assigned to you. And you can theoretically be completely out. The most that we would ask of anybody that referred a deal to us is if we're like, in the middle of a sales cycle, or if it's big and complicated, we might ask that, if they're interested, if they'd be willing to, could they jump on, one of our Zoom calls for discovery Zoom calls after we've done our initial assessment or discovery and see if they can help us coordinate thoughts with the customer. But that's only if they want to. Other than that, just intro the deal. Hopefully you get paid and you end up with a great print vendor as your client's partner.
Well, unless you want to share anything else with me, I do have one final question for you.
Yes.
What is the number one reason that an MSP or IT service provider should partner with Print Partner and Green Office Partner, I should say?
I think we're in it because our tagline is stop letting random print vendors operate in your client spaces. It's like letting a fox in the hen house, right? So
Absolutely.
we are 100% channel driven. Every single one of our net new logos comes from through the MSP community. We respect that. We value the relationships that we build with MSPs, and that collaboration is what MSPs value most, even more than the revenue. So yeah, it's just like any other tool that you have in your stack. Stick a print vendor in, and it doesn't even have to be us. Just choose a print vendor that can be a reliable and consistent part of your stack.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I lied. I do have one more question.
Oh
So,
yeah.
what is the what is the best way if someone is watching and they want to get involved with Print Partner, Green Office Partner? What is the best
Mhm.
way that they can do that? How do they get
Go to
started?
www.printpartner.biz.
Okay. All right.
And you can get all the info there. In the top right, there's a join now option. It's takes you just a few minutes and you're off and running. There's no commitment, there's no obligation to us, there's no minimums. You just sign up, and off we go. And I got to tell you, Scott, I've gotten a tremendous amount of partners through the IT Business Owners Group, and I'm so grateful
Awesome.
for that. So your community's been really good in the growth of Print Partner, and as a result, Green Office Partner. And with that,
That's
we're going to
awesome.
send you a check for $100,000 at some point in the next 500 years
I
as our
will
way of
hold
saying
my
thank you.
breath.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Well, Mitch, it's always a pleasure to sit down and chit chat with you. Um, and we will get together soon and we'll have another chit chat.
I look forward to it. Thank
Sounds
you. Be
good.
well.
Take care. Bye
Take
bye.
care, Scott.